government-funded universities, destroying the minds of the young. Socialists and other hardcore leftists infest television, movies, theater, psychology, sociology, political science, history departments, you name it. 25% of sociologists characterize themselves as Marxists. That's probably more than the members of the Chinese Communist Party. Liberal or leftist professors outnumber conservatives nearly 12-1. In history departments where I studied, it's over 33-1. Liberals to conservatives. Back in 1968, it was 2.7-1 across academia. And it gets worse as you go younger. There are 10 Democrats for every Republican among professors over the age of 65. When you start looking at scholars under the age of 36, it's almost 23-1. Leftists over Republicans. In 2009, only 6% of US scientists were Republicans. The ratio, I'm sure, is even worse now. What about the teachers of our children? As the old saying goes, give me a child until the age of 7 and he is mine for life. What about the teachers of our children in their most impressionable years? Well, more than 90% of teachers vote Democrat. And according to studies, leftist teachers, Democrat teachers, don't allow as much disparity of ability in their classes. They don't reward or fail students as much. They're all crowded around the middle, which creates, as we know, highly explosive snowflakes in the future. The mainstream media, almost completely run by leftists. They want more and more government, more and more laws, more and more coercive control over the population. Out of all reporters, not even the political ones, all reporters, only 7% are Republican. That's a quarter what it was in 1971. According to another study, journalists, reporters, news editors, or television news anchors, as well as other donors known to be working in journalism, 96% of them gave money to Hillary Clinton. That's according to federal campaign finance filings. So that is the reality. Overwhelmingly leftist, Democrat, liberal. Diversity? Screw you, echo chamber hacks! Here's the historical reality. Ooh, they're so anti-fascist. Crap. The first fascists were almost all Marxists. The Marxists and the fascists, they want collectivism. The Marxists want collectivism based upon class consciousness. The fascists want collectivism based on the nation state, or based on race or ethnicity. Why? Because they quickly figured out that nationalism works better than class consciousness to subjugate people to the power of the state. Nazism. Why is it called Nazism? Why not give its proper name? Nazism, National Socialism. Oh, but apparently socialism is on the left, but National Socialism somehow is on the right. They're distancing themselves from the crimes they helped inspire. National Socialism, Nazism, is just a competing criminal ideology to communism. It's like two crime gangs battling for the turf called the future of the people, with the common enemy they both share of freedom, of property rights, of the non-aggression principle. That is the enemy they both share. Both Hitler and Stalin loathed and hated capitalism. Hitler was a socialist who based his collectivism on race. Stalin was a socialist who based his collectivism on class, and later, the Russian nation state. The choice is individual freedom or collectivist subjugation. Collectivism, they don't care what larger concept they can talk you into subjugating yourself to submitting to. They don't care. Could be collectivism on race or gender or nation or class. Who cares? The state rules, the individual is destroyed. Do you care to which altar, red or brown, you are led to for your slaughter? The sacrifice is all that matters, all that must be opposed. Governments around the world slaughtered 250 million people, their own citizens, in the 20th century alone. We hear of genocide. Even more dangerous is democide, murder by your own state. 250 million people murdered by their own governments, not including war, outside of war. Those who demand bigger and bigger governments, more and more regulations, more and more violations of persons and property and conscience, these people virtually control the entire cultural, artistic, intellectual, and media empires of the West. That is the reality. That is what needs to be exposed and opposed. Socialism, collectivism, leftism, Marxism, communism, they're everywhere. The death count of communism in the 20th century alone, more than 100 million people. That is the titanic reality of what we face. But a few losers who have no power whatsoever wave around their little homemade Nazi flags and everyone loses their minds. Wake up! You're being